Welcome to the first official podcast for Guardian One, a Destiny group dedicated to the prosperity of Guardians everywhere. We broadcast live every Thursday at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Guardian One Network. As this is our first episode, there will likely be technical glitches and settings that need to be addressed, so if you see or hear something out of place, let us know in the chat. My name is Remy, also known as Dear Bungie, and I will be your host for this evening. I am joined by three very special Destiny community individuals, starting with SDF River. I know that name. SDS just sounds nice. It rolls off the tongue. I've looked at this SDF forever. It's my mistake. River, how you doing?
Not too bad, Remy. How are you?
I'm doing great. First podcast. Don't know if everybody's hearing everything all right out there. If it's too loud, if it's too soft, we really would like to know. So yeah. How are you? How you feeling about this first episode?
I'm really, really excited to get this going. I've been waiting for this day for us to kind of broadcast this live for a long time, and I really hope everybody likes the show.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, we have been doing this for quite some time. Me and River and Warlock, we've been working on this show for some time, and just the technical side of things opened up, and so now is the right time to strike. Now is the time to open it up and really let people into the conversation that we've been having. Because every conversation that I've had with individually and with both of you have just been, why didn't we record this? Why didn't we send this out to people? So I'm excited to get this going, and that brings me to Crimson Warlock, another person very special in the community, someone who's very mechanically engineer-minded, someone that I want on my side for when it comes to the technical side of building a Destiny. I think that there's going to be a huge amount of technicalities. Something I read was, or maybe it was something from the podcast, they said, it will be a while before people figure out how all of the mechanics work, and that's exciting. That sounds like chemistry, but in the alchemy stage. Mike, Crimson Warlock, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks, Remy. I'm glad to be here, and hope you guys will enjoy this show. We've been at it for a while, and now this is our first chance to talk to everybody.
Agreed. And it's going to be a good show for you tuning in, and for you showing up and notice that we were late to the stage. I appreciate you for being here, and please let us know. Let us know if you like the show, and we accept feedback. If you'd like to submit some comments, we got Jez looking through the comments for anything good. So that brings me to our final person, but definitely not last. Someone in the community who I found to be perfect as far as his choice of words go. You're not going to catch this guy sleeping because he's watching all the exits. Jez, thank you for being on the show.
Huh? What? Sorry, I was sleeping.
Yeah,
I want to start off with a quote. If ignorant both of your enemy and yourself, you are certain of peril. Sun Tzu, The Art of War.
very nice.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, pretty much. The actual quote that I was looking for a long time ago.
Yeah.
This morning.
So how do you feel about this first episode, Jez? You're the newest to the group. You're the newest to this circus. How are you feeling about this show?
I think it's going to be a great avenue for discussion. And personally, it's going to be great to not be a fourth wheel. Perfect. Well, I'm trusting you to keep us honest. I have an overactive imagination, and I appreciate where you are able to keep me in check. So, let us get right into it. Unless you guys have anything else you want to add here.
No, I'm good personally.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's get started.
Yeah.
Let's get
On the
started.
show.
So was there a specific chat you guys wanted to go about doing first?
Let's see. Well, one of the things that I did ask the guys over at Guardian Radio, it was off of episode 64, the latest podcast that they had. It was one of the things that I really thought that we could use, and I, of course, got permission. Thanks, guys. It was the One Big Family post over on the Bungie.net part, and it was the one where they were asking 2 questions, and this is kind of a way for the audience to get to know us a little bit better as far as our gaming habits and things like that. It was the first question was, what was the first game that you played that brought you into gaming? And the second question was, what is your favorite gaming series?
I like it. So why don't you start us off?
Oh, well, the first game that actually brought me into gaming was whenever I had my old school NES way back. Gosh, I don't even remember now, but it was the very first game that I played, and that was Mega Man, the very first Mega Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I played the crap out of that game.
Very good game.
Whew. Yeah, and I mean, most people will probably say, most people around our age might say, hey, I played a lot of Super Mario or Duck Hunt or something. Yeah, I didn't touch those until like a year or something, because I played so much freaking Mega Man. Still one of my favorite series.
That's
as far
awesome.
as my yeah, I know. As far as my favorite gaming series, it's kind of I mean, I like to play a whole bunch of video games. Halo's obviously a big series that I thoroughly enjoy, with the multiplayer aspect, the lore, and all that stuff. One of the offshoot games that I don't see a lot of people playing is the Devil May Cry series. Those Twitch skills that you need in order to get really good at that game is
Yeah.
I just love the challenge, and I love to work hard, and the over top action just gets my gaming going, man. I like it.
I do too. So, Mike, question to you.
First game that got me into gaming, I do have to go back to the NES as well. We played a lot of the original Mario, but honestly, the first game that really got me into it was this game called Flying Warriors. Now, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it or played it.
No.
But Flying
Sounds
Warriors was Power Rangers before there were Power Rangers.
Oh my gosh.
You got this team of 5 kung fu karate experts, and you were given these divine powers, and you could transform into super warriors, and you had to defeat this demon. And it was a side-scrolling platforming RPG, and I loved it. My brother and we played so much of it growing up, and so that actually was one of the first games that gave me a love of RPGs, and that's mostly what I played. So favorite gaming series, I would say Final Fantasy, because I've played almost all of them, but the one series I've played every console game is Legend of Zelda.
Very nice.
Classic.
Very nice. Jez?
I'm gonna flip it backwards. The first series that I played, just because he brought it up, or the first series that really stuck with me, is the Legend of Zelda series. Enough for me to actually get a tattoo on my back of the Triforce.
Jez, that's pretty badass, man.
And I started during the NES era as well, when I was like 5 or so. So although I didn't get to play Mega Man until later, like the earlier Mega Mans, I didn't start that until the X series and on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But the game that probably started me off, aside from Mario, because that one's so overdone, is called Wizards and Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Nope, I don't know that one either. Lizards and Warriors.
It's an old Acclaim game. Well, it was developed by Rare, and it's just like a platforming game that's It's very hard to describe. You would have to look it up.
Is it kind of like Gauntlet?
No, it's like a side scroller, but you can move vertically as well.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad I got Google.
Yeah, it was quite challenging. At least when I was
Outstanding.
that age.
Outstanding. My first game that I played that brought me into gaming, it's kind of interesting because it was an Activision game called Sequest for the Atari. My cousin had an Atari, and I would go over to his house, and it was an Atari game that really had a lot to chew on. Like some of the games, they were one-sided or just not very exciting. Sequest was a game where you were in a sub, and you were to go under the water and get these divers, save these divers that are being by sharks and subs. And so, in addition to going under, and you had a bar for oxygen, you were able to shoot missiles at these sharks and these other subs, and then you collected these divers and you brought them to the top. And at the time, that was huge. That was a huge amount of stuff to do in a video game. And I don't know. It actually even says Activision on the cartridge, which was even why I remembered it all these years later. And really, it was a huge impact on me. As I got older, though, definitely the Legend of Zelda series. I remember when the first Zelda came out. I remember those stupid commercials. Anybody in the chat remember those stupid commercials? That guy in the black suit jumping around going, Zelda, Zelda, Zelda. Lame?
I thought you were going to bring up the wiki.
Nope. That sounds pretty awful, too.
It was like a very horrible rap. It was like Legend of Zelda is really rad.
Well, it was kind of like the times. That was cool.
No,
that was cool at
definitely.
the time.
Absolutely.
So cool.
Absolutely. But yeah, as far as my favorite gaming series, it would... I want to say it was Zelda. Except for, I kind of fell off. Like, I never played The Wind Waker, and I hear that was one of the best ones.
That's what I hear too. Me and my wife actually bought that for the Wii U.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I think we have a copy of it around here somewhere, but I just don't want to play anything other than Destiny.
No, right?
And Destiny's not out yet.
Gosh. As soon as that comes out, you won't be seeing me for a while, I don't think.
Right? We will be here. We will keep doing this chat,
we'll be
but it will be like, all right, well, we're playing video games,
Yeah,
Come on in.
that's right.
You know what, though? That's what everybody else is going to be doing.
All of us together.
Right? All of us
Can't
together.
wait for it.
Agreed. All right. Anybody have anything else to add to that?
That's it. That's all I got.
All right, good. So the next conversation I would like to have is about the passage of time in Destiny. I'm most familiar with the 1 second to 1 minute ratio, where an entire day goes by in 24 minutes. And I think that this is the most often used type. Does anybody know of another game that has a different style of judging time, of the passing of time?
Well, it's not different, but World of Warcraft uses a 1-to-1 passage of time, but they recently changed it so the nights aren't very nightish.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Like,
what do you
it's
mean?
not as dark as it usually would be on a night.
Ever?
Ever. They made it. It actually detracts from how good nighttime used to look in it.
Well, what it used to look like. Because I've actually probably played WoW like an hour, and that's it.
Well, it used to be fairly dark, but
Oh.
light enough that you could see shapes and stuff.
Yeah,
So
it
was
was
that-
almost like you had a torch around your person,
Uh-huh.
so I mean, you could see some bits
Yeah.
of the distance, and you could see mountains specific shapes, but they were all blurry.
But you can
Yeah.
see all the way out to, say, the mountains that are freaking however many miles down there.
Well, you would see the silhouette of them, like
Okay.
you would at in a real situation where you could see the night sky.
So how dark is Destiny going to be?
How dark is Destiny going to be, and for how long?
Well, they can make it as dark as they want because your ghost is a flashlight always following you.
Oh, true.
Good
I
call.
hope it doesn't. Yeah, good. I hope it doesn't have that Doom 3 going on.
In addition, has anybody thought about maybe there will be a way to modify your helmet for like some kind of night vision, or like maybe some kind of way of interacting with your environment? Like maybe you could have something that would attach to it that would glow around certain rocks or something like this. Because I just thought about this, and the idea of being able to, because in Halo you had the like almost like binoculars. You know, if you didn't have a gun that could zoom, it would just use you could zoom in with your eyes, and I think that would be really cool to have. Anyways, you know, like, do you think that that's going to be making a comeback?
Well, personally, I don't think there's going to be any other flashlight type of deal besides your ghost. Because why would you give the ghost that function if you yourself are going to have that in the meantime? Zooming in through the helmet seems like a standard type of deal that's probably going to be going for everybody. I mean, that's where your heads-up display is.
Right. Anybody else?
One of the pictures, there was a Titan with flaming eyebrows. And
Hey, man, cannon eyebrows.
I hope that affects the lighting around you.
Right. Well, if
Yeah.
it's a good game, it will, or at least it will on next generation.
That's what I was thinking too. Next gen consoles will definitely take advantage of that.
Well, and I also would think that you could get scopes that have night vision on them. You'd be able to look down your scope and
Mm-hmm.
see what's in the darkness.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about the whole the night vision deal, because I know with ODSTs in Halo, your heads-up display had that night vision deal. What was the name of that? I forget that mode that they had, but
The visor mode.
the visor mode. And you think maybe they'll have that do a comeback, or like Mike was saying about your scope having that night vision.
Well, it's not very practical, but I know when you summon your ghost, it sends out that pulse of
Mhm.
light that like waves over everything to show you your waypoint. So that could help determine your surroundings as well.
It could illuminate enemies or something.
What, kind of have that visor? Oh wait, you never played Halo, right?
Never.
Well, I know in ODST, whenever you're into visor mode, they would highlight your enemies in an outline. That might be something kind of what you're saying is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like in Crisis, you could, if you aimed at an enemy, you will highlight them until you kill them, basically.
Ooh, that's pretty fancy.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Okay, so going back to the passage of time, does anybody else feel that the 24-minute day cycle is too slow or is too quick?
That's too quick in my mind.
Yeah, it
Because
should
what?
be at least 4 to 8 hours.
Oh, so you're thinking that between 4 and 8 hours should be the 24-hour cycle?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could agree with that. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable to me.
See,
I would almost think that a 24-minute one would be too short also, because I mean, if you're on your Sparrow and something's 5 or 6 minutes away, it seems like it's half a day away. Like that, I don't know, it could mess up with distances depending on how big the maps are.
And if you recall, each of these places are extremely large, extremely huge. I don't think that they would want to have you spending, like, I don't know, a week trying to traverse the freaking Mars or something like that. Well, not Mars in a whole, like one of the destinations that they have. 6 days. I don't know.
Grand
Ye-
Theft Auto 5 has a day-night cycle of 48 minutes,
Mhm.
and it's still a little bit too noticeable because you want the day-night cycle to, you want to not notice it changing if you're not taking watch of it. It
Agreed.
should, yeah. So that one is closer to what it should be.
Mhm.
So I want to go along with the 4 to 8 hours, but then there's the like Bungie has said that if you only have 20 minutes to come in and do something, they don't want to take that away from you. And if you are stuck in the nighttime and what you needed was during the daytime, that effectively blocks out certain amounts of time. And this could be good and bad in the game. Like if you just can't show up during this time, you just don't get those things. But at the same time, I can't imagine Bungie wanting to put up walls like that.
Well,
I suppose
you
also the problem with a short day-night cycle is you can't have moments where you're going through the place at night and you come across like a camping party, because if the cycle's so short, they're going to be moving in the next 5-6 minutes.
Exactly.
mhm.
Exactly.
Well,
So it is going to have to be longer than 24 minutes.
And if you've got some monsters that are more nocturnal than others, I mean, you're never going to see them if it's too fast.
Exactly. And really 48 hours does feel too long. Like
I
Rex
like
Maltz
what
was saying in the chat.
Rex was saying. He said 2 hours. I think that would be a good time. I think.
And so
Well-
is that from nighttime to nighttime? Are you talking like an hour in the nighttime mode and an hour in the daytime mode?
Yeah, the 2 hours would probably be the full 24 hours.
Hmm.
So an hour of day and an hour of night. I like it. It's definitely better than the 24-minute cycle.
Definitely.
So there might be a little bit of a gradient too. Like, you're not going to flip directly to night. They're going to make it so there's probably closer to 30 minutes day, 30 minutes night, and then some mid-level like sunset and sunrise in the middle.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good to me. I like it. Let's have you work on that, Jez.
I'll get right on that. I'll go to Bungie and tell them I want to be your day-night cycle timer.
Anybody else have anything else to add to this?
To the passage of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something I wanted to discuss and bring up to you guys. Something I was thinking of writing out, maybe for a future article, but I'll discuss it here. And one thing that I want to see is almost like a global shout out for the community itself. And this would almost be more passage of time after a couple of years that the game's been out. But I'd like to see something where, like, we have the day when we took back Earth, and 80% of the Guardians who are playing Destiny have finished all of Earth and have moved on to other planets, and that's a new holiday in the game. And every single year, there's a celebration on Earth that we've got Earth and we're back. And I'd like to see something like that, and almost have in-game holidays that have been created because of gaming progression or something.
Absolutely. This is a great idea and definitely something that's going to be implemented. Even if Bungie didn't do it themselves, this could be something that we would do. Like as a community, we could make a day about basically anything we wanted. And then we could, celebrate it on Twitter and in the game. And that would be for us. But if it was something like you were saying that it went through to a specific mission, 80% of the Guardians went and did this. And so we defeated X amount, like however many bad guys we needed to defeat, or we needed to take back a certain location that would, cut us off from the moon, cut us off from Mars. It would be amazing to see that in game. And I'd like to just say right now that everything anyone is thinking about Destiny is so small compared to what it's going to be. Because let me tell you how much I think about this game and how I would be making this game, and then imagine 500 more of me Like I can't even begin to say how much we don't know about this game and how awesome it's going to be. And yeah, were you done, Mike?
Yeah, it's just something that's more of a global thing, so the community feels like they've accomplished something in a growing world. That would actually make the world feel alive to me.
No, I
Definitely.
agree. Yeah, I agree with you. I remember this now, because I made the comparison to like whenever Eve Online had that huge battle. Whenever they had however many hundreds of pilots in that huge battle, and they lost like 75 Titans, and it was this whole big
Yes.
deal. And what was it, CCP? They erupted this monument out in space in that battlefield, and that's going to be in game. People can go tour it or something like that. And I can imagine something like that in the city, where hey, we took back Earth on this day. Let's erect this huge monument within the city, and we'll celebrate this yearly. I mean, it's going to be for the next 10 years. 10 years that we're going to be playing this game, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Ever since Wrath of the Lich King, there's been after some of the big bosses like the Lich King itself and one of the Deathwing, Deathwing. They've erected statues in the cities, like either in the city of the expansion or the city of the main cities, that you can activate to view the cutscene.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
I didn't know about that. That sounds pretty badass.
It's kind of funny though. The Lich King one, the cutscene says, "Don't let anyone know that what happened here. The memory of this should remain intact." And then you go click on it, and everyone can see it.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
So,
yeah.
This brought up another thing that I want to bring up about this kind of passage of time, and kind of what Jez was saying, but again on a more personal level. I think it'd be really cool for like raids and things like that. Like every time a raid's complete by a clan or something, and they've got their clan tag, I'd almost want like a global shout out in the tower saying, clan so and so just defeated this boss, and then anyone can cheer if they want to, or fireworks go up because they've stopped this person or something. Like I think that'd be really cool too, to make you feel like you're actually accomplishing something in the world, other than, well, it's a new raiding week and we have this on farm mode or something. Just maybe the first time your clan does it, it's a shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to keep bringing up World of Warcraft, but in Burning Crusade, there was, or actually, I think it's most bosses, for if you defeat the final boss, little cutscene plays in that city. Like, it basically says, "Oh, you didn't kill me, you haven't seen the last of me," type of thing. And then it also says, like, it doesn't say the guild, but it says, "So-and-so and their comrades have killed Kelthus," or something like that.
That's awesome. You can go ahead and bring up World of Warcraft as much as you like. I have a feeling that quite a lot of it is going to make it into this Destiny. Like they're not going to call it an MMO because it's not, but that doesn't mean that every single cool thing about it is not going to be integrated into this Destiny. In addition, there's in Dungeon Defenders, when you go up to there's like a little stand where you can interact with your banked items. It will tell you just right on the plaque, right on this thing in your game, who is the top person on this map at that level. So you always know, like every time you play any of the levels, you know who the top is in the world right there. And that's not an MMO style game or a shared world shooter. This is just an arcade game on the Xbox 360. And I think that's really cool and definitely plays into what you guys were saying.
This is getting me so pumped. I'm getting so pumped for this game every time.
On the flip side of all this, though, is Dark Souls 2. in the main town, there's a monument that you can look at, and it tells you how many people have died.
Crazy.
Which
it's-
game is this?
Dark Souls 2.
Oh, I hadn't played that one. I hadn't even really played enough through Dark Souls 1.
It was in the millions by the first day.
Oh,
Wow. It's awesome.
that's incredible.
Well, the
Awesome.
the first achievement most people get in Dark Souls is to die once, and it's titled "This is Dark Souls."
Oh, nice. I am missing out, man. I need to get on the ball on this one.
You know what, though? It's all for naught. September's right around the corner.
No, that's true. I need to get through this backlog that I have because I don't know what else I'll be playing after. Maybe the occasional game. Halo's going to come out at some point, and I'll probably run through the campaign, and then
Yeah.
I'll just hop right back into Destiny.
Yeah. Are you excited about the Halo 5 ripping off Destiny Guardians?
Dude, as if we didn't have enough confusion, right? As if the normal person, the normal casual gamer who's like, oh, maybe I should hop on to Halo this next gen or something like that, as if they're not confused enough about this freaking game.
With Bungie, do you think they will? Well, of course they're going to update the multiplayer, like the PvP, as they go on. But do you think they might make changes based off of what happens with Halo 5?
No. No, that I think they have the mechanics ironed out to exactly what they want. They might change a couple things here and there, especially with each iteration of Destiny. But I think the core mechanics they have down pat. Nothing's going to change too drastically. Not like between, say, Halo 2, Halo 3 with the introduction of equipment.
Maybe, if anything, Halo 5 will be more like Destiny's PvP.
Yeah, possibly.
I think that it's more than possible. I think that every game that each and every one of the people at Bungie has played has changed the course of how they are making games. But I just can't imagine what it would be. And after that sad showing for the Forge and Halo 4 with the sadly reskinned Reach pieces, I just am not interested. I will probably not play anything other than Destiny once it comes out. Like I will have a way of investing my time. Like this is not going to be just, I'll hop onto Forge for a little bit, or maybe I'll hop into multiplayer. It'll all be interwoven. It'll all be one piece. In addition to all of the other community projects, like I'm just filling my plate so much with Destiny because I'm in 100%. I've got 79,000 gamer score on my Xbox 360, and
Nice.
I wanted to hit 100,000 before Destiny came out, so that I could just have that nice clean number. But I just can't imagine myself playing too much of a game that's that similar. Like it's specifically Terraria. I don't know if you guys have ever played in Terraria. It's kind of like a 16-bit side-scrolling version of Minecraft, but if it was taken in the direction of let's add a bunch of other stuff like rocket boots and these grappling hooks, like it's just so much a departure from what Destiny is that I feel like that's feeding my Zen garden need. I want to make a castle. I want to defend that castle. I want rocket boots, which is part of the reason why I want to be a Titan. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the jetpack that the Titan gets. I'm really hoping that the decoy makes its way into Destiny, because the decoy was absolutely, besides running. If running, if I didn't have to already choose running, then the decoy would have absolutely been my favorite ability, because it's almost like seeing 2 to 5 seconds into the future. You stop at a doorway and you send your decoy in, and then you basically get to replay that moment as if you walked in there from behind you. You're covering yourself, basically. And that's exciting. Thoughts?
I really like the decoy as well. It was extremely satisfying, like that scenario you just put in. It was extremely satisfying to send that decoy in through the door. Somebody would want to go assassinate the decoy, and then I would end up assassinating that fool right there because you were just an idiot. Yeah,
Exactly.
extremely satisfying. It was great. I was really glad that they included that again in freaking Reach.
Right?
Oh,
I could see a decoy being key in raids for aggro dump.
Agreed.
Send out
Yeah.
the decoy so they don't attack you for a second while you heal up or whatever, and then you're back in the fight.
good point.
I was going to mention that I've never had experience with like a decoy type ability in any game that wasn't versus the environment.
Mhm.
So like playing Warframe, there's a character called Loki that can send out a decoy that basically all the enemies will start attacking that instead. So it's great to either draw fire, then you can throw down some big AoE, or even better, if you are almost dead, you can throw out the decoy and slip away.
It's really awesome. I like it a lot better than the cloaking.
What? The cloaking's like a staple now. There's-
Yeah, I don't
What do you
dig
mean?
Well, I think.
Oh wait,
cloaking-
you're a Titan.
cloaking-
That's right.
it.
I think cloaking can be used with decoy. Like throw out a decoy, stealth yourself. That way,
Oh
there's not two
man.
of you.
Bam.
Okay, so I think you just stumbled upon something that I think we are going to see in Destiny, which is abilities playing upon each other, and that right there would make an amazing combo. Like you cloaking yourself as your other goes off, like that's amazing. How would you combat that? Like, would there be? Do you think there could be some kind of?
Say you were going against that?
Yeah, well, because one of the themes that Bungie's always talking about is they want to allow, so much to happen. They want to give people these amazing powers, but at the same time, there needs to be a
Counter.
yin to that yang. Yeah, exactly, a counter. And so, what do you think you could, like, what do you think would be used to combat that? Somebody cloaks themselves and they send out a decoy. That's amazingly powerful.
I
Well-
think. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say the decoy could look a little bit different, and if you're watching them, you'll see the decoy come from a different place and then disappear. So it would look kind of like a short range teleport, but you would see that the decoy looks not as like full detail as like a legit Titan or a legit Guardian would be. So if you're observant, you'll notice that it's not really
Yeah,
someone.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say too, Jez. Because like with the decoy in the Halo games, your decoy kind of has a little grainy look to it, just a little bit. If you really look, especially whenever you first deploy it out. And with the thing with the cloaking is that you're not completely invisible. You still have that predator light bending around you type of thing. So if you're extremely observant, you might luck out.
Well, if you know what you're up against, you can tell if that's part of their moveset or a possible move that they could have.
Mhm.
So you could be on
Well,
the
see-
lookout for it.
I'm not sure if cloaking's going to be in the game because I think closing time's perk is it makes you go invisible when.
Well, yeah, whenever you.
I don't know if it's going to be like hunter ability or like a Titan ability or something.
Well, it couldn't. It would not just be on closing time in my mind. I would think that maybe you would get some sort of armor where you could have, 2 seconds of cloaking or something like that. Something minute, nothing like, zoom in, and as long as you're zoomed in, you're going to be invisible.
There was a quote about it in one of Agrios's recent posts about the media. I was trying to find it.
Hmm.
Trying to find.
The quote itself.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the quote, and I was like, "What?"
Now, the
That's
the
way
quote-
mysterious.
It was when starting a mission, you can only activate a certain set of skills inside your focus. Example of choosing between staying in longer in midair or being able to get camouflage for a short time.
Ooh, that's right.
That
That's
was
right. I
from
remember that now.
German magazine.
Hmm.
What I want to know is, so with that closing time, whenever you go into the scoped view, you cloak yourself. I want to know if they said that you could dismantle your weapons and upgrade other ones, and I'm hoping and I bet that there is a way of taking that circuit board out and adding it to something else, or maybe not. Thoughts?
Anybody want to go first?
I would say like every named epic's going to have its own perk to it. I mean, Thunderlord is Thunderlord because it has the lightning element attack. Like, I don't think you'd be able to take that element off of Thunderlord and put it onto like a pulse rifle or something. Like,
I
I
agree.
couldn't see that happening.
I agree. I think named, exotic weapons, those really rare ones, you're not going to be able to dismantle that. In my
But I
mind,
think-
anything below that, I think you'd be able to do something. Take one or two. Maybe with a common, maybe you can dismantle the whole damn thing. But exotics itself, there's no way.
Maybe
Well, you could.
maybe that's the final level. You know how they were saying in your focus, you're able to lock in a build and then work with something else. Maybe that's the thing with exotics is you can lock it in and turn it into an exotic, and then you can't play with the or maybe it goes to a different set of upgrades after that, but you can't tinker with the core of it once you really like it. Once you've gotten this weapon to as far as it is, maybe that's what exotics are about.
Well, I think the thing that we should probably look into, or hopefully we'll get some information on, is when you do cannibalize a gun for items, chances are the talent tree of that weapon is based off of like the stock of that gun or the core of the gun that you can't put on something else. Like
That's a good
that,
point.
That is the gun. You just put the rest of it onto it.
Or you could switch out some parts, and that would change the tree.
Interesting. I can't even imagine, because what if each piece has a tree? But that just sounds like craziness. That sounds like the equipment structure in the first Mass Effect.
Okay,
Well,
I could see that.
Could you imagine how tedious it would be to, grab that new scope? And I think you talked about this in Gunslinger, Remy. But you grab that new scope and you have no points in it whatsoever. So it's crappy now, but eventually it'll be better than the one that you've been using for 2 months.
I kind of have an image in my head of like the gun's talent tree would be missing parts until you add a scope, and then you add a scope, there'll be a little like, say, 2-point little tiny tree. It's not connected to the main tree at all. It's just once you get the entire gun to a certain level, you can put points into it.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery that I'm ready to solve. I'm ready to dig into it. I'm ready to become a gunsmith. Been thinking about it for a long time. Ready for it now.
Hopefully next week.
I just want to point out that what is that? Sendindros? I apologize.
Fine.
Hey, Agrios is good. Talking about that, maybe it's not even like that. That whenever you break down a weapon, it just becomes weapon kits.
What does that mean, though?
What do you mean?
Well,
What does that mean?
Well,
kinda worried about it.
they can have different mats. Like, I mean, for example, Diablo 3, you've got your white basic core items. You've got greens, which are a little bit better. Or blues, sorry, and then you've got rares, which are yellow, and then you've got your legendaries, which are golden. And each one of those, when you salvage them, gives you a white, a blue, a yellow, and then a gold crafting material. So I'm guessing those are what weapon kits would be. And so, to build this new item, you need five like uncommon weapon kits and one maybe even Epic one to make this new Epic. You need all these different weapon kits, and you get those from breaking down. Let's say you find an Epic, but it doesn't fit your build, you don't like it or whatever, so you just salvage it for an Epic weapon kit. Then you use that to maybe build another one you've been saving up for.
Oof.
Oh, okay. So I could even see it being either way. I could see it being like, I don't want anything that this exotic has to offer, but I would like to have an exotic weapon kit. So if you broke that down to some kind of generic parts instead of their specific parts, because a part of what I really want to see in this that I covered in the Gunsmith series was taking off a specific piece. Like there's so many times in Borderlands where I would come across a weapon that was so identical to what I was using, except there would be a 2x zoom instead of a 3x, or like the just something that was visual, like the barrel was cooler or wrapped in some kind of cloth. And I just wanted that piece. I wanted to use my gun that I've been using, but I wanted that piece on this gun, and my only choices were to use the gun that I'm using now that's better than the one I found, or use the one that is visually more appealing. And that's something that I don't think that we're going to see in Destiny. I don't think we're going to see I think that we will be able to do that. I think that that's definitely something that is going to be in there. Who knows to what degree, but very exciting to think about.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 500 people working on this. Like, I see it being like a set of like Tinker Toys or Kinects, some kind of Legos, or the next step up. I mean, I'm hoping.
I would love it.
Yeah,
Right.
anyone that's played WoW, I don't want disenchanting.
Which is this?
Yeah, basically. You basically destroy an item, get some dust that you can use. Although, in WoW, you use it to enchant your weapons with, like, skills. But I wouldn't want to break down a weapon to get generic dust to use to build something. Or
So-
even to level up.
Whenever you guys were talking about breaking down an exotic weapon for freaking a weapon kit, that just I just died a little inside. That just makes me sad to think that an exotic weapon would just be broken down to, just as little bitty pieces, just like that.
Well, what if you had two of them?
Could you have two exotics?
Well, I mean, not equipped, but what if you
Well,
run
no,
a
I'm
certain
saying-
strike?
What, like two thorns? That's to me, that's ridiculous. There's no way that you're gonna have two of the same exotic weapon. It's exotic.
Well, exotic weapons aren't the same as, like, legendaries in World of Warcraft. Because legendaries in World of Warcraft, most of the new ones you can only get one of.
Mhm.
But the problem is everyone can get one of it.
See,
And
that's what I'm thinking.
even, like, named weapons, like, this axe was used by this major main character of World of Warcraft, but you can dual wield them. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But they have to do it because if people run the same boss, and that boss has a loot table, and has a chance to drop that, and it might get sent to the same person.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
that's true.
Yeah, seeing Destiny's loot table will be really interesting how they work it out, because again, like I would hate to just go to the same area and everyone's waiting for some guy to spawn for their drops, and it's the same gun that everyone has because it's the best one that everyone's found or something.
That sounds tedious and ridiculous.
Well, usually those types of things are in strikes and raids. They
Mhm.
wouldn't put. They probably will have world bosses, but well, I hope they have world bosses. But if they did, it would be more of, oh my god, this guy's up. Let's get all our friends together and kill him.
So you mean like, hey, this is the challenge for the week. Defeat freaking, I don't know, Lord Groot or something like that.
Yeah, go chop down a tree.
All right. Anybody else got anything for that?
No.
I wanted to go back to something. I believe it was Chicken Lord 1980 said. Saginaw. I wanted to go back to the time thing. He said something about about the time frame. What if during strikes, because they said that strikes are only no, it's raids. They said raids are you and your 5 buddies going into this world. I don't think that during raids you would come across other people. It just doesn't seem like it would be like that would be part of it, like somebody's traveling through. So what if in this thing everybody's going to this raid, time is frozen for this raid. Like I know that they're saying they're making one world and everybody's going to be connected to this one world. But what if, the entrance takes 45 minutes and then, it's like day and night the whole time you're just trying to get into the entrance? Like what if they made an instance like that? Anyone?
Well, it seems like raids could be a little bit more of a story to them, so they can set it to whatever time they want. They could just have a little tiny cutscene saying, "Hey, it's nighttime here." So yeah.
Oh, I like it. That could be part of the story. Is them showing you, all right, well, we'll leave at night, and then it will go to that cutscene. I like that.
Because if they use that to their advantage, they could use, like, if they have the day-night cycle, they might also be able to, or if they just lock it, they can just, trying to think of where I'm going with this. Basically, they could have it so that you go through it, and by the time you get out at the end, it could be sunlight, or it could be like sunrise, so you could look like you achieved something throughout the night, and it would be kind of like you were raiding all night and you broke into dawn, and that's the raid's over. I think that would be a good way to kind of show that the raid's over.
Right, and if you didn't have it choreographed, it might not line up like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd have like a beginning and end cutscene to it. If it was a story, like a raid that was story driven in a way, like I'm sure it'd have a cutscene that would give you that sense of achievement, but show the time differential as well.
Interesting. Any of you ask a question in the mail sack this week?
I did. And
Well,
didn't we all? Did somebody miss it?
I asked a question.
What was your question, Mike?
Well, this is actually Jez's question. I've been
Quite a lot
I
of
asked
people's
it
questions.
for Jez, but anyway, Jez and I were. I asked Jez to get me some pictures of ghosts, and in there he was looking at some of the concept art, and you go back to some of the original concept art that was given. It shows this fallen that's holding an orb, and Jez was wondering if that was like the core of a ghost.
Totally.
So
I
I
thought
asked
it
that and said, if it is a core of a ghost, why do the fallen want it, or why would they be interested in it? So I'm sure it won't get answered, but if it does, it'll probably be like what Jez told me is a non-answer answer.
You know what I've been thinking it is recently is the core of a traveler. Like there's another picture that shows like a giant orb in the background, kind of being picked apart by a laser cutter, and I've been wondering like because it kind of looks like the traveler. And what if that's it? Like at first I thought it might have been a ghost, maybe a round ghost, maybe. But what if it's the heart of a traveler? Like, what if it's like some kind of superpower? But then I think, didn't we see something like that floating around in one of the motion pictures, like of the fallen in the snow with that spider walker? Like what? The one that moves, though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I just
Yeah, I
posted it
remember
in
that.
chat. Yeah,
Oh.
there is an orb that's hanging out in the background. Like,
Does that look anything similar to that other piece?
not really. The one that's in the other concept art has more articulation to it. It looks more mechanical.
Interesting.
I can find it really quickly.
And the one in the snow picture, I mean, it's about as big as a person.
Yeah, the one
cute.
in the snow picture almost looks like it could be maybe like a smaller version of that Prime boss that they were talking about.
What's Epic's Prime?
Oh,
No, the one at the end of the Strike from the Strike movie.
Yeah,
yeah,
Epic's Prime.
Sepix Prime.
Yeah, yeah. Like it.
Strauss. You
Maybe
mean
it's a
Strauss?
smaller version of that type of enemy.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I linked the picture that he's talking about with that Mike's talking about the guy holding the orb.
I see it. Oof, it's tough because it kind of cuts off at the top. I mean, it could be. I mean, those are. It's not like it's a grenade or anything. Those look like optical.
It almost
type
looks
deals
like
on there.
the wings of the ghost that would like fold into a ball.
Well, the ghost itself, when it breaks apart, the wings just go out a certain amount of distance in the light around it, and inside the middle is that circular core. And the only pictures we've seen of it are really small, so we don't see what the detail is on that core.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, all right. Anybody else got something on that?
Oh, I did ask a question.
Oh, yes. Continue. That's what I was talking about.
Yep,
What is your
yep.
question, River?
The only question I really care about at the moment is whether or not, confirmation, yay or nay, is there going to be Destiny consoles of any sort? Because as soon as they say yes, there's going to be an Xbox One or a PS4 Destiny console, I'll go buy that. Or if they say no, we're not going to have that shit, I'll be like, all right, well, I guess I'll go buy one of these normal ones then. And that's it. I just want to know so that I can go and get it as soon as I can.
Is that what you're waiting on?
Yeah, it is.
I bought a normal one, and I'm just gonna put decals on it,
I like it.
like a car.
I like it. DIY. I wonder if there will be something packaged with it that's special. Like
The game.
yeah. Well, I mean, I would imagine that that it probably comes with the game. Maybe even the downloadable version.
Well, remember the Wolfenstein Special Edition doesn't come with the game.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Jez, did you ask a question?
Yeah, I did. And I'm actually posting something in the chat that I made a long time ago, more related to what SDF River did. Is a long time ago I made concepts of all the PlayStation 4s with
Oh,
specific,
yeah. I remember
like
those.
Hunter PS4 and a Warlock PS4. And the most striking thing about them is not that I want like a big symbol on it or anything, but just the coloration of them to be different, just to show it's something different.
Right. That actually it was one of the questions from K-Dub in our Bungie group. He asked, what do you think the chances of a limited edition Destiny PS4 console are? And I think that the chances of that are staggeringly high. I think that Bungie knows what they have on their hands right now. Like I think that they've been thinking about this long enough, and they've had enough people on this. And really, the third part of this is just having the money to throw at it, which they do have, and so they're not going to mess this up. They were made Halo consoles. Like I think it's written in the stars. I think it's a definite.
I sure hope you're right.
You know what though? Like I think that as much as I want one, I would just be happy playing it. I don't care what I'm playing it on. Like right now, it's the Xbox 360 for me. Don't have the funds to get the PS4 or the Xbox One, and I'm in the same boat as you, River. I really want a branded one.
Yes.
But I will play any version they hand me. I will play any version on this Etch-a-Sketch. This 3-inch Etch-a-Sketch right in front of me. I'll play it on that.
Look at those graphics.
Right? So
Shake it for a loading screen. Hurry.
Something that I would like to touch on, which was my question this weekend. Actually, me, Dado, and Watts, Justin Watts, in the chat now, we were talking about Dado assumed that maybe the actual servers won't be online until 12 p.m. PST, just like the actual game unlocks for pre-orders. And we were just trying to find out if maybe that the actual game won't be able to be played until then, which for me is kind of horrible because that's 4 a.m. in the morning.
Right. I was totally thinking about this as well, and I've been bummed thinking about the 8-hour head start that everyone in the UK would be getting over this. That means Bife, 8 hours of in-game activity, more console. 8 hours. Do you know what's going to happen in the first 8 hours of playing Destiny? A lot more than zero. And so, like, I've been kind of bummed, but I understand. I don't live in that time zone, whatever. And Bife mentioned just recently in his latest video, thank you, Bife, for the shout out to Guardian 1. I do appreciate it. He mentioned that the game would be going online at 12 p.m. Here, or 12 a.m. at Pacific. And that makes me smile. But I mean, I feel sad for him now, if he has to wait until 8 a.m. Can you imagine having to wait till 8 a.m. to play this game? Like, I'm going to be so pumped, probably for 72 hours before the game drops, Even
I can't imagine having that game in your hand or downloaded to your console and just waiting for 8 freaking hours. I just can't. No.
Right?
And what?
No.
No.
It's going to be preloaded on what, the 4th? That means you're going to have it on your console for 5 days.
Ugh, that's terrible.
I'm still banking on PlayStation Early Access, though.
What, on the actual game?
I think they might. Maybe one day. I could see one day.
No, they won't.
No.
You don't think so?
So what were you thinking? So you were thinking that on the 8th, the PlayStation Nation would go in first?
Well, they're getting beta access first.
Yeah, but that's beta
I could
access.
see them announce something, too.
No. Worldwide release on the 9th, man. There's no way that PlayStation Nation's gonna freaking get that crap on the 8th. I'll hate you.
I agree.
I'm just trying to get you to cross over, that's all.
No, I'm not crossing over, man. I got my boys. I got my SDF boys on the Xbox. There's no way I'm gonna be leaving them behind.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing on as many consoles as possible. Probably only not on the PlayStation 3. And I've decided to work it out because I have different social circles. Like I play a lot of video games with my dad, but he's not going to buy a One anytime soon, and he really likes the 360, so I will be playing it on the 360 with him. But I believe that I really love the Xbox controller. And actually, I really love Xbox. Like, I've not been, even when I had to send it back 3 times because it red ringed, I'm not upset that I made this purchase. I really have enjoyed my Xbox 360, and so I'm really excited about having a controller that I bought in the last year. Like I haven't bought a new controller in like 5 or 6 years, and so all of my controllers are rickety.
Mine too.
So the Xbox One is going to be a graphical leap and a handheld leap. But in all honesty, I think that the PlayStation 4 version is going to be the best, and I want that content the moment it comes out. Like, I don't want to be behind on what's going on. So I've decided to play a Warlock on the PlayStation 4. I'm going to be playing a Titan on the Xbox One, and I'm going to be playing a Hunter on the Xbox 360. So
That's
this way
crazy.
I have a way of differentiating my play styles and also the pool of people that I play with. I think it's a good idea. So I haven't asked a question in the mail sack in a while. I think I asked one last week or the week before, but I don't really ask questions because the questions I have don't get answered. And Deej is often saying, if your question wasn't in the mail sack this week, then congratulations, you are ready for Destiny. And so I just don't even want to torture myself about it anymore. Is my question going to be answered? What is the gun that Warlock is holding in that PlayStation Share commercial? Like I want to know these things. I want to know them now. And so I have two modes. I have two options. I can either ask a million questions every week, or I can just chill out and just wait. Just wait for everybody else. I'll make my videos. I will cull an amazing community of Guardians who want to help other Guardians, and when it comes time, my questions will be answered. I will either find the answer myself, or I will be addressed.
EXP Bounty Hunter sets out like 20 minutes and makes up to like 20 questions for Deej to answer every week, and they're always different. And Deej just said he can't answer all the questions, so that's why he's been in the mail sack like 5 out of the last 6 times. Because he's
well, not only that, they were good questions.
Oh
They
yeah,
were really
definitely.
good questions.
Definitely.
But they weren't questions that I was thinking about. I'm thinking about like 10 steps further down they're never going to answer my question sack. If I wanted a question answered, I would ask one like him. But apparently I'm just going for the jugular with every question. So I just
That's how I feel
What's the
too
point?
whenever I ask one.
right. I do enjoy reading them. I read them every week. I digest it and I enjoy it, but asking questions is just, it's futile. Have a good one, Chicken Lord. Thanks for showing up. Maybe now's a good time to thank everybody for coming out in this chat. Sect 79, thank you. Son of Ice and Fire, Delateral. Let's see, who else do we got out here?
Got a shout out to all the Prime Guard
Definitely.
mates of mine that showed up.
Definitely.
Even before the stream started.
Very, very thankful to have our very own Prime Guardian on the show. And Prime Guard, you guys got an amazing person who's out to find the answers. He's not messing around. You're not going to catch him sleeping. Nanowatts, thank you. Agrios Sendendros. I don't. Is that it? Was that?
Yeah, that was the one I stumbled on. It's all right.
Again, Chicken Lord. Saginaw. I keep saying that because that's on his Twitter account, and I played a bunch of shows out at like 10 years ago. Actually, I played a bunch of shows out in Saginaw, and I love it. I love that area of the world. It's just filled with a lot of good people. So let's see who else has shown up. I haven't really had a chance to pay attention to the chat because I'm trying not to sound stupid on the air.
No, you're good.
Murdoch, thank you for coming out. Appreciate
Also
it.
from Prime Guard.
Also
Nice.
from Prime Guard. I've been meaning to hit him up for some projects. Like, I think that he has the skills of something I want to do it's a little outside. It's a little outside. I'll be contacting you, Murdoch.
We've got a lot of people from Prime Guard that are ready to make content as soon as we can.
Oh yeah.
EXP Bounty Hunter, thank you. Rex Smalls, for reals, everybody from Prime Guard. I appreciate it. I saw on Twitter your call out to your call to action, and I appreciate it.
Very much.
Thank you all for coming out. Also, thank you to everybody in our group. We're now at 45 people on the Bungie.net forums. Now,
Nice.
this is nowhere near the 19,000 that More Console will have at the end of the day, but I appreciate every single one of you. We have a lot coming. We have a lot. We really don't even know the extent of what Destiny is going to be. And so when I see a question like, let's say, Blue Mayhem, he says, I want to know what Guardian 1 has planned as far as helping each other. I'm interested in being involved with our growing community, whether that be assisting new Guardians or teaching lessons. Assisting new Guardians, teaching lessons, weapons and armor expos, and so on. I think this is going to be a great game and a great community. I'm excited to be a part of it. Well, Blue Mayhem, I am excited to have you here. And as far as that goes, you've listed some very interesting things that we are definitely talking about. Definitely teaching sessions. I I came from a group called the Ancient Warriors. Joined the Ancient Warriors in 2010 in a searching for a group of people who were interested in helping me test out an esport that I'm designing, and that I will be adapting to Destiny. I feel like the idea of competitive multiplayer gaming is so exciting, and this is one of the reasons I'm very excited about Prime Guard, is because they're out there and they're so ready to have at it right now. Destiny is going to need these people. Destiny is going to need these people in the campaign co-op. They're going to need these people in the multiplayer. Like, I want to see who's on top. I want to see who rises to the top. And this Prime Guard is definitely a group that you can't ignore. It's impossible.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, so Blue Mayhem, definitely. One of the things that I'm interested in doing is I played Anarchy Online for a while back in like 2001, I think, 99, and it was an MMO. It was like a sci-fi MMO, and there was these areas where just new people were dumped. And there was a guy standing there just making sure that the new people didn't get overwhelmed by some of the mobs that would show up. And that really stuck with me. As far as what is possible. Like, that guy didn't know I was showing up. I didn't know I was showing up. We didn't know each other. And so it's an awesome feeling knowing that there's people out there. And I would like to make a network of people who take certain spots that will become known to the community as hot spots. And I'm looking forward to helping people through or just even pass. That's exciting to me. In the 12-minute video, with the fight with the Spider Walker, there's like these poles that stick out of the ground that have these like railings, and it looks like a place to sit on top. And I imagine myself sitting up on top of one of those railings and just helping people as they go by, meeting people. So there's a ton planned. And more than enough for everyone to help. So, Blue Mayhem, why don't you post what you would like to do in our forums, and we'll talk about it. Maybe that's how we'll make the decisions. We will start an open call for people who want to do something. This is something that I've been planning. We're looking for really everyone, people who make YouTube videos, musicians, and everybody in between. So if you have an idea, come on over. Use the search function on Bungie.net. Very fancy. Type in Guardian 1. We have a group waiting for you. Let's see. Also, Sect79 had a question. He says, how optimistic are you guys that Destiny will be a hit at E3? So this is the question. How optimistic are we that Destiny will be a hit at E3? He says, I know most of you all have read some of the negativity from media outlets and general public floating around after the Strike gameplay was revealed. I know Destiny will be a great game, but I worry about the ill-informed, ignorant, and media giving it a bad rap. We all know how fast crap like that spreads in internet land. I don't know about you guys, but I can't stand reading comments like, it's like Borderlands, but the graphics look better. Ugh. Lol. Or how about the headline on the Kotaku article? Don't get me wrong, there are a ton out there that have had their hearts won over for some time now, myself included, but I worry. Given its budget, we need Destiny to be a huge hit so this game gets a nice running start so that we can have the next 10 years of this franchise. Anyways, I'm glad all of you guys share the same excitement I have for this game, and thanks for bringing this community together. See you on the show. Well, Sect79, I did see you in the chat. Thank you for showing up. My answer is, that's a good question. It really is going to depend on whether or not Bungie is going to use E3 as its springboard to showcase everything. And I just can't imagine that that's what they're going to do, because with the information that they've provided us over the time frame that they've provided us, the game has really taken a different shape than what was first shown and what people expect of it. And so I imagine that some people will be won over. If you're a multiplayer kind of person, I think that it will absolutely win you over, especially when More Console starts putting out his hype, because he's going to go down there, he's going to play it, and I just can't imagine him going, well, it's nice of them to bring me down here, but this chuff ain't really going my way. Like I can't imagine him saying that. Like it's just going to be insane.
No way.
Right?
He's so energetic. He's going to get these guys pumped. Everybody who's going to be in line to play this game, the competitive multiplayer, he's going to get them all pumped. Everyone's going to be excited. There is nobody who's going to be leaving there not excited about Destiny.
Right? But imagine just not even him, but there's also, we got Mark and is Craig going to be there? Craig's going to be there, right? Yes.
Craig's going to be there.
Hargrove was identified as one. Also, who else was in there? Yes, Datto. And Datto's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite people to watch, because his take is so much different than everybody else's. Datto almost seems like he doesn't want to be here doing this, but at the same time, this is all he wants to do. And I think that it's interesting. His takes are very interesting. But you're right, Cosmos is going to be there. And who's the other one?
The sixth member is someone that I don't recognize from anywhere.
Who was it?
Mark only threw up a Twitter name, but the Twitter was protected, so I'm not sure who it is.
Interesting.
It's like, I can find it. But yeah, it's not someone that I've seen around. Or maybe I've seen them around, but they go by a different name on Twitter.
Dang, I had something to say. Mike, got anything on this?
I don't know. I was just gonna say, it's More Console, and he's a Brit, so his accent's always gonna make people happy anyway.
It's the way he talks. It's the way his mannerisms is. It's infectious.
Well, and Mark's the same way, even though he doesn't have a British accent. He's so energetic and stuff. And then Craig is going to get all the sciencey stuff out there, so everyone can geek out about that.
Totally, it's going to be awesome.
But I've never heard of anyone doing this for E3 before. Like taking members of their community and having them be the liaisons at a big event like this. Like I've never really seen that before, so I really hope it does well for him.
Yeah, it will. Definitely.
Right? It's going to be a ton of fun. He's going to get to hang out with those guys. I don't know. I'd say that I'm jealous, but I know he doesn't get to keep his Guardian at the end of the day either. So, and because that's really what it comes down to, is the investment game. And I think that's why Destiny will go live midnight PST. Is because, well, this is where Bungie is headquartered, and if that's the moment their game is online, like, I don't know.
Well, they say it's not an MMO, but having servers all launching at the same time is very MMO-like.
Yeah. At the same time, you say?
Well, if they launch them all, they would all launch at the same time of 12 PST.
Poor Hawaii.
Why poor Hawaii? Won't they get theirs at like 11?
I don't know. They're freaking. I'm in Central Time Zone. I know they're like 5 hours behind me, so like 3 hours behind you, Remy.
Yes, they would get it on the 8th.
They get it early access or what?
Well, it's not.
I'm moving to Hawaii.
Their like 8 o'clock would be our like 12 anyway, so there's not going to be any difference.
Perhaps.
All right, so anything else for Sect 79? You think? Do you guys think it's going to be a hit at E3, or are you with me in that it's very well could be just another show of like the next increment? Like I think that once once more console and other guys get their hands on this and they're able to relay what it is, like I can imagine a scenario where you go into this room or you go down to the floor and you get to choose hunter, the 2 classes, warlock the 2 classes, titan the 2 classes, and then you don't get to do any kind of investment. You just get to choose, do you want this style of play? Do you want this style of play? So they won't be able to relay to us how the investment works. Like, I think that this will only be multiplayer, and I think that for that, it will be a bit of a letdown, again, to the people who want to know everything else. And I only really want to know what it says in the instruction booklet. Like I feel like a lot of people think that I want the answers to like where the traveler came from. Certainly, I want to know that, but not at the expense of finding it out on my own.
Yeah, well, something. This is what I think about E3, and this is what'll make Destiny successful, and that is if they show during the PlayStation press conference, if they show maybe a raid or part of a raid, but they also show the companion app in action, and then they go into PvP for everyone else to play. Like, if they do those 3 things, I think it'll make Destiny stand out a lot more and get a lot more people interested in it.
I could see that. Yeah.
Jez?
Well, I find that it's a hard sell for this type of setting because they're banking so much on investment. You can't really invest in a 20-minute demo.
Right? So yeah, so your answer, Sec79, is I think that we're still going to see letdown reviewers, and I still think that it's not going to matter once the game comes out. Like you can have Anton Ego talking about how Destiny is the worst thing that ever happened. And then if you sit down to play it because you're interested in trying it out and seeing for yourself, I think it's going to suck you right in. Like, I think that I realized that Destiny was going to be amazing when I saw, in the 12-minute trailer, it shows that you can raise and lower your weapon. Now, I'm not certain that if it's raising and lowering your weapon, if it's you walk into a certain area and your weapon comes up automatically, or if you're in a non-danger area, you lower your weapon automatically. But when Halo Reach came out, and the ability to lower your weapon was not placed easily within the game, I thought to myself, what is Bungie doing? Like they have this community who want to make machinima. I've made like demo machinimas because I like the concept, I like the medium, and so when Halo Reach came out and it was still difficult, it was still a rigmarole to lower your weapon. I thought this doesn't make any sense. But once I saw that footage where you could lower your weapon, I thought, oh my god, they are saving the good stuff for this Destiny. Like, it didn't make sense to add in waving in Halo, so it didn't make sense to add lowering your weapon in Halo. It was in there, but it was difficult to ask to reach. And so I realized at that moment, I thought, oh man, they are in this Destiny, like they wanted to make this Destiny everything that it could be, and it all comes to me from lowering the weapon.
Nice.
Thoughts?
It could just be contextual. If there's someone in the area that can kill you, your weapon might be up. But if it's a calm area, like normally in Halo the music will dull or something, that's when your weapon's down and it's more of like a movement type of objective.
Definitely. And so I've watched the video and I can't really determine which one it was. Like when did they decide to put their weapon down? I don't know. I don't know. Warlock, you got anything on this?
I don't know. Like, we'll just have to wait and see.
Agreed. Moving on. So what about midnight download versus midnight pickup? Is anybody here going to do the midnight pickup versus the midnight download?
Midnight pickup.
I will be picking up as well.
Interesting, Jez.
I'm going to pick it up because I can't wait till 4 a.m. if it doesn't unlock until 4 a.m. anyways.
Right? Okay, so I'm with you on this. So then I'm the one who's torn. I'm the one who's torn on this because I've been to many midnight releases, and I enjoy the atmosphere. I went to the Halo 3 midnight release. I went to the Halo Reach midnight release, and meeting those people and hanging out with those people. It's a very awesome experience. But if the servers go online at midnight and my ass is still waiting outside in the cold for a copy of Destiny, and everybody's playing right that second, I'm going to feel like a fool. So my solution is to do both. I'm going to go down there and hang out with people until about 15 minutes before midnight, and then I'm going to drive back home, and I'm going to play it from my hopefully have already purchased PlayStation 4. But you guys are all set. You don't even need to worry about it. 4 a.m. for you, Jez? What does that make it for you, Mike?
2 a.m. I guess for me.
River?
Well, I don't even know what time is it for you, Remy?
Midnight. It's midnight. I live like 20 minutes away from Bungie.
So 2:00 a.m.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I guess
Interesting.
it's only 1 hour for me. I'm tired.
But yeah, looking forward to meeting other people. Looking forward to talking about this with other people.
Mm-hmm.
But really, midnight download. Midnight download.
If possible.
Anybody else on that?
Nope.
I
Alright.
just like having the physical copies, and
Yeah.
I don't want all the extra space taking up my space on my hard drive. Like, I'll just pop in the disc. I'm fine with that.
You know, the problem I see with that is that because I do plan on buying a physical copy as well, mostly because it will probably be a part of the Legendary Edition, or whatever they end up calling it. But I think that there's the slight opportunity, just the slightest opportunity, that I might play something else if I have a downloaded version of Destiny. Like if I don't have to take that disc out, which is not going to happen. There's a slight possibility I might be able to play something else. Slight. So I'm definitely going to be picking up both. Alrighty. Modifiable and selectable melee. This was something that we were talking about on Twitter. And actually, ever since there was a Vine that Bungie put out where there was these two Guardians running up the stairs. Do you guys remember that Vine?
Is that one of their preview ones?
Yeah, it's the start of the.
No. It was like live action. Like they had two cosplayers down at Bungie running up some stairs. Nobody remembers this?
No.
No.
Hopefully
No.
this will be something that I iron out before the next broadcast. Like I should just be able to pull up this video and show it to everybody. So look forward to that next week. But in this Vine, they showed these two these two Guardians running up the stairs, and one of them had their knife out, just holding it. And in one of the other pieces of content, when they first showed the Edgewalker move, where it zapped to a bunch of different bad guys, when the hunter comes to a stop, it's still holding its knife. Like it doesn't automatically switch back to its gun, which makes me think that the melee slot will be something that you can choose to do standalone. And this is not even something that we don't see in video games today. Warface, this free-to-play game on Xbox 360, you can just switch to your knife and start hacking up people. You don't have to select a gun, and it's not something that it just pops out. So we were talking about the ability of when you equip a melee weapon, it will modify your melee to coincide with the weapon that you've done. But in addition, I think it will be a selectable property. River, you got thoughts on this?
I actually do have one. I remember in the Devil's Lair, whenever the Titan was running up on some folks and he had the little knee maneuver, I feel like that's a modifiable melee type of deal.
Modify.
Yeah.
Which part?
In the Devil's Lair, there's this part where he knees one of the fallen, like he knees it. Nobody's pointed this out for some reason, but he knees it, and I feel that's part of the melee. That melee was modified, probably from a focus.
Well, the rising knee that
Mm-hmm.
was that actually everyone's been talking about since that.
Yeah, no, that was from another trailer. This is from the Devil's Lair gameplay. I didn't see anybody else really point that out.
I thought he shoulder charged it.
No, there was the shoulder charge, but then later on in that trailer, he does a little knee maneuver that nobody's freaking pointed out. And
I loved it.
And I think he might have even done something else. I'd have to watch it again.
Agrios says that's from the focus, and I will go along with that. That seems like something that would be cool to have. And I remember your tweet, River, and I still laugh every time I think about it. Something about kneeing that Vex in the berries. Just laugh.
Yeah, buddy.
And laugh and laugh. It's really good. That was really good. Favorite tweet of the year so far.
Hey, thank you. I try pretty hard.
All right, so let's see.
Remy, actually, I have to get going, man. We've been going for a while, and are we getting close to 2 hours now?
Yeah, we are getting close to 2 hours. I just looked down at the clock.
Yeah, I gotta get going. So, sorry. If we could just wrap this up.
Absolutely. Big thanks to everyone who showed up. We hope to see you here next week, right here on the Guardian One Network. If you guys have any questions, you can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Bungie.net. We're everywhere. Happy to answer any questions that you have. If you want to join the group, if you don't want to join the group, I appreciate all comments. Please let me know what you guys thought about this broadcast, and we will see you next week. Thank you very much. Anybody else want to shout out? Jez, you got anything to say for anybody?
No, just if you're looking for a good hardcore guild, our Primecast is always looking over your applications.
Primecast. Prime Guard. Thank you very much. Mike, you got anything?
Yes, Primecast.
No, just follow us all on Twitter if you haven't already. But keep tabs on Guardian One. We've got some other stuff in the works, and hopefully, when Destiny gets closer, we'll have more fun things that we've created to show you guys.
Right on, River.
I just want to give a shout out to my SDF clan members. We got Manny and Chris, Joe and Daryl. I know at least Manny and Chris are on Twitter. They're SDF Lawnboy and SDF Creamy with a K, respectively. I can't wait to play Destiny with these guys, straight up.
All right. That's cool. That's going to be it for us this week. Big thanks to everybody over at Guardian Radio for helping me know that I can do this. And also the technicalities. Mark, if you had not sat me down and said exactly what you were doing, we would not be broadcasting this right now. So big thanks to everybody over there. Bye, Watts. Chris, Hargrove, everybody. Oh, Derek.
Yeah.
So long.
From Derek, it's so long. Hey, Guardian Radio, really appreciate you guys helping us out, man.
Have a good one.